Good morning. Good morning, Delia.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine.
More fluid and open. And so that idea of growing from the inside out and growing bigger, letting our breath expand through the body and get out some extra stuff that you'd like to get rid of. I found in this living, a year of living your yoga, actually today's um, little write up from Judith Lassiter says, open and receive. I was like, oh, those would be good words to use today. And, but it's a little bit different spin. So I do think that when we are feeling better and we are more open and we feel more expansion due to pranayama, your breath practices, that then we are a little more open to everyone around us and a little bit more patient maybe, and then the art of receiving. So it says today, when someone offers you something, an inviting smile, a cup of tea, or a chance to go ahead in line, receive it completely without reservation. So there is an art to receiving as well, as opposed to saying, oh, no, 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 it's okay. It's just like, we have enough clarity and enough openness and spaciousness to receive from others, and whether that's support or just a smile. So there you have it. So we'll go ahead and move on to our backs and make yourself comfortable. Remember, you can keep the feet on the floor and the knees bent if you'd like to, or you can take your legs nice and long. So finding your comfortable spot on your back with that idea of just landing gently. Once you're there, pausing and finding an easy way or way to move into some stillness on your backs. I think a couple people joined, so coming onto your backs, this is where we are for now. And remembering to let the yoga meet you where you are. So do any fidgeting that you need, moving, wiggling, rocking your head side to side, maybe taking your time to take a nice deep breath in through the nose and just let it out through the mouth. And keep your feet on the floor, knees bent. Let the knees draw in towards each other, or take the legs nice and long. Feel free to take the hands onto the belly, or you can take the arms to the sides. Just soften through the elbows, make sure you have some space. The arms flipping up towards the ceiling, and soften the fingers. Take another breath in through the nose, and then a soft sigh through the mouth. Feel free to take more of those. It may help you find a little more ease through the body or the mind, or just coming to your natural breathing rhythm. So notice that rise and fall in the chest without forcing, just feeling. Checking in with your attitude or your energy level today. You don't need to change it, just notice where you are. And think of this little mini Shavasana as no pressure, no judgment. Don't create any of that, just create opportunity. Opportunity to check in and know where you're starting from. Notice how you feel. you haven't already, close your eyes and let the face just be soft. Maybe the cheeks and the flesh start to drape off the bone. You can also move your mouth and move your jaw around to let go of any clenching if you feel any tightness. Letting go of the busyness of your mind. Imagine that any thoughts are just like clouds, and maybe as you exhale next time, you just imagine that you're just letting them blow away for now. You can pick up any of them that you need at the end. Just letting your breath create a little more opportunity, a little throughout the physical body for you to grow bigger and more spacious, allowing more of you to rise to the surface. I love what Matthew Sanford, a yoga teacher, he's also a paraplegic, and he always says, breathe for the spaces that you can't yet feel. I love that. There's places within us where we have either negativity or maybe just tension, tightness, sadness. Imagine that you can breathe so you can make more space for the things that help you feel more expansive and bigger. And placing both hands on your belly, you can leave them there, maybe one just not on top of each other or just one below the other. Take a breath in through the nose and then feel a nice exhalation through the mouth. And then just notice when you breathe, the belly starts to rise up towards the palms. And then exhale. And then slowly take the top hand and just slide it a little over towards the side so it's underneath or on the bottom of your rib cage. And this time as you inhale, notice the belly rises and then the breath starts to move into the rib cage and then maybe all the way up into the chest, and then exhale and surrender. So try a few more of these. So as you inhale, just feel the belly rising up towards the palm. Try not to force it, just let it be. Rib cage starts to expand. Breath comes into the chest and then softening through the shoulders. The belly starts to drop back towards the spine. Fully exhaling. So go a couple more times at your own pace. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed. Soften through the face. Try not to over effort. Feel free to move the hands somewhere where it's comfortable. You can relax the elbows. Having the hands on the belly and on the rib cage, the bottom of the rib cage, might just help you notice the sensation a little more. Let the hands just slide as the breath moves. And your next inhalation, or excuse me, your next exhalation, just slide that maybe left hand, switch them if you had them the other way. Left hand on the chest this time. Right hand stays on the belly, just below the belly button. Take an inhale through the nose, soft exhale through the mouth. And the next time that you inhale, feel the belly rise. Notice the rib cage expand, and then the breath move all the way up into the chest. And then as you exhale, soften through the shoulders. Chest descends, rib cage softens, and belly starts to pull back towards the spine. And then again, inhale. You can almost feel the belly moving away towards the front of the mat, and then the exhalation taking the head and the chest back towards the back of the mat. Take a few more at your own pace. And then come back to your natural breathing rhythm. Feel free to keep the hands where they are, or you can change them. Slide them back to the sides or both on the belly. And then just take a moment to notice maybe a very, very subtle integration or sensation in the physical or the mental body. And then if you, wherever you have the hands, just lift the hands, float the palms up. And then you're going to take your first finger and your middle finger, and you're going to just bring them together. And you're just going to take them to the side of where your temples are, and just give yourself a little circle massage there. Trying to let the lips come away from each other, relax the jaw. And then start to just let them slide down maybe towards the jaw. The mouth comes open, and then we'll take them back up and down the jaw, and then just move around wherever it feels comfortable to you. Maybe it was really nice on the temples, so keep it there. You can also slide them over towards your third eye, taking them in the center and then bringing them up and around the eyebrows. Just explore, opening the mouth, move the jaw, rock the head. And then slowly bringing the hand so that the left hand's on the heart, the right hand's on top. Take a breath in through the nose, let it out through the mouth. And then taking a moment to reflect on something that you're grateful for at this very moment. And slowly, you can start to take maybe a big stretch by reaching the arms up over the top of the head, stretch through the legs. You can keep the feet on the floor with the knees bent, or you can take the legs nice and long. If you have the arms up over the top of the head, then maybe bend the elbows so that they're out towards the sides, and then just slither right elbow a little down towards the right hip, and then move to the other side, either the feet on the floor or having the legs long, either way. Just get a little, it's almost like you're taking a little side bend, just moving back and forth. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling. And this is always a nice little pump for your lymphatic system. So a lot of our lymph nodes are grouped around our joints. So moving helps pump that system to get rid of the things that we don't want and help our immune system. So take the arms out to a T now, just slide them out to the sides. And take a nice deep breath in through the nose, let it out through the mouth. Feel the back of the shoulder blades just drop when you do that. One more time, inhale and exhale. Good. And then walk the feet in so that they're on the floor. And then you're going to take your, excuse me, you're going to take your right arm and go underneath the left, bringing the palms to maybe the side of the arms, maybe up near the shoulders, wherever it is. Keep the hands and the arms soft. So try not to squeeze, because you're going to need to breathe here. And then just rock a little side to side. If you have the knees bent and the feet a little bit wider than hip width apart, you might feel a little bit more range, not just in the upper back, but also in the mid back. But it might feel good on your hips just to keep the legs long. It's not a big range. It's more of a massage. Head sways in the same direction. Making sure you're breathing. And then coming back to the center, open up the arms. If you want to be more dynamic, you can slide the fingertips away from each other, press the back of the palms down, or just chill with the arms. And then we're going to inhale, taking the left arm underneath the right. Different orientation. Hands may land somewhere differently. You can change up the feet on the floor or not. It's up to you. Let the head sway. Feel that nice massage in the upper back. One more time each side. And then open up the arms. Take a nice big stretch with the arms, and then you're going to flip the palms so that they're facing down. And imagine that you're pressing a little bit into the palm, into the fingers. Your shoulders will be coming off the ground most likely. And then just flip the palms facing up. Try to relax the shoulders so that they're landing on the ground. Maybe tuck the chin a little bit, lengthen the back of the neck, and then set the head back down and see how that feels. Good. And then you're going to bring your right knee in. So again, you can keep the leg long, the opposite leg, which would be the left, or you can keep the foot on the floor and knee towards the ceiling, either way. So we're going to interlock our fingers, and you're going to bring your hand so that it's just below the knee. So not right on the knee, just below the knee. And then imagine that you're just pressing the palm into the shin. It should feel good on your back, drawing the knee in towards the chest. It's a little bit different than when we just hug the knee in. So we're not just kind of hugging it in and bringing it in and out. We're actually pulling down. You'll feel the back the whole back will be imprinting on the mat. And then you're just going to take soft, keep a little pressure, but just go down the shins. You have the soft part of your hand pressing down, up and down the shin. Good. And then you can set the foot down or lengthen it either way and take it to the other side. But before you interlock, try to interlock opposite. So we always have sort of our go-to, but try to see if you can interlock the fingers a little like differently. Take the first finger down to just switch it up opposites. That's really tricky to explain. And then find that place, not on the kneecap, right below. Knee comes in towards the chest, and then just press like you're just pressing the calf in towards the belly and the chest. So it's like nice, and if it's too pinchy, or if it's just not comfortable, just hold underneath the thigh. Kind of do the same thing, just kind of pulse in a little bit in and out. And then we're just going to do this one more time on each side. So then set that foot down. This time maybe notice somewhere different where you feel it. Interlock the hands, switching it up, holding, and then draw the knee in a little towards you first, and then just use your elbows and your palms, just pressing down. You might actually, almost like you're massaging the front of the leg, but straight down. Good. And then switch to the other side, interlock the hands differently. Take a breath in. Try not to hold your breath while you're doing this. I know it's active in the back of the shoulders. And then relax that foot down. If you did have the knees towards the ceiling, then straighten out the legs and then just shake out the legs. And then just notice whatever sensation arises. When you're ready, then you can stretch the arms back over the top of the head. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale out. Bring the hands down to the sides, and we're going to take our active Tadasana pose. So your feet are flexing away from you. Your arms are to the sides. Imagine that your palms, you can even touch your thighs for a moment. Lift the chin, lengthen the back of the head. You might even feel with the chin tucked slightly, and then you start to relax the head back down. You might even get a little back crack out of it. And then slide the fingertips a little bit down the thighs. Pull them away. You can relax your pinky, back of your pinkies and your elbows on the ground if you'd like, or you can keep the hover with the arms and make it really active. And then imagine that you're in Tadasana pose, a really active Tadasana pose. Heels maybe pressing down a little bit as you're pressing the foot forward. Again, you can always lift the chin, lengthen the back of the head whenever you want to make it comfortable, and then just let everything go. Pretty active. Try it one more time. Inhale. Think of it's almost like on the ground, it feels like a soldier, like somebody, the guards at Buckingham Palace. Very serious, everything is activated, pressing down with the heels, back of the head, shoulder blades, and then relax. Okay. So Wednesday is a little bit, since we're not Friday, we are Wednesday, but we are a little bit more active on Wednesday. I forgot to mention that. So then bring your feet in so the soles of your feet are coming towards your glutes. Bridge pose, basically. Flip the palms facing down. Take a breath in through the nose and let it out through the mouth. Good. And then we're going to practice strengthen our hips. We've done this before. We're doing a little tiny bit differently. So you're going to use the back of the arms. So maybe press into your shoulders and your shoulder blades. Feel the back of the arms right near the armpit activated. And then lift up the hips. Don't have to go super high. Bump the hips a little side to side. Try to maybe just lift your chin a little away from the chest. If you feel a lot of wrinkles in the neck here, lift away. Good. And then come back to the center, and then you decide how high up you want to go, because we're going to balance on one foot and then the other. You can even lift your upper back a little bit and roll the shoulder blades towards each other, so you have a little more support there, and then press the weight into the right heel and the right foot. So it's almost as though you're hovering the left, but you don't have to hover the left. You're shifting the weight out of that left foot into the right foot only. Come back through the center, relax, and then start to press into the left, as though you were lifting the right foot off the ground, but you don't have to do that. You just shift the weight, press, press, press. You can lift the hips up higher if that feels good. Otherwise, they don't have to go up that high. Try not to keep too much stress. Maybe lift the back of the head just for a second and set it down. Widen the collarbone. Come back through the center and release down. Pull the shoulders a little away from the ears. Maybe rock a little sway side to side, upper body. Breath in through the nose, let it out through the mouth. And we'll try it one more time. We'll do it the same way, but you can actually hover the foot if you would like to. Up to you. So inhale, nice support of the upper back. Feel the shoulder blades. And the shoulders widen, broaden through the collarbone. Thighs come up it's enough so you feel them activated. You have the support of the feet. You're in a bridge pose, but not your largest expression. It's up to you. Press into that right foot. It should feel good on your hip. It should feel like, wow, it's really activating there. And then you can play around with hovering. It's a little bit, I wouldn't say a little bit, it's a lot more challenging. Keep thinking of the inner thigh coming towards the center, inside of the knee towards the center. Set the left foot down. Certainly take a break in between if you would like, or stay here, either way. Feel that nice lift. Use your shoulders, the back of the shoulders, shoulder blades, and then press into the left foot. Use your heel and your toes. If you get a cramp, come down, no problem. It happens. You can either just use the shift of the weight or float the right foot up. And then press down. Try to press into both feet. Try to lift the hips up. Feel broadening and widening of the hips. Try not to squeeze the glutes. And then lowering down nice and slow. Bring both hands to the belly, widen the elbows. Take your feet a little bit wider, maybe a little more forward. And then just hang out there and reconnect with your breath. There might have been a place where you were holding your breath there. Whenever we do something that maybe is a little bit more challenging, we tend to over focus and lose that flow of the breath. So it happens. So reconnect here. And then whenever you're ready, you can draw the knees in towards the chest, give them a little circle, holding onto the kneecaps here softly. And then you can just roll out and in, maybe sway the head a little side to side. And then circling in the other direction. Take your time, create any other shape that feels good. I'm gonna rock a little more side to side, either way. Good, and then whenever you're ready, we're gonna roll up to come to a comfortable seat. So if there's something else you wanna do on the way up, feel free. Take your time. Now, if you wanna sit up on a blanket or your bolster, feel free to do that. I'm gonna stay on the ground for now, and I'm gonna give you the opportunity to change your shape a little bit when you're sitting in your Sukhasana or your, what they call easy pose. So see if you can put your feet closer underneath of the knee. So sometimes we sit out this way, or, you know, all of our shapes are very, very different. But if you just squeeze, it's almost like you're sliding the shins a little closer together, and you can certainly pop up onto your support, or you can use blocks underneath the knees too. But it just is a different sensation when you are aware of the feet coming underneath. Just give that a try and kind of wiggle around, see how that feels, if it feels different in a good way or different in a bad way, and then adjust as you need to. And then once you're there, just use your hands up and down your thighs, maybe around the knees. If you want to wiggle a little side to side, before you do that. Anything that feels naturally good to you. And then we're going to come back and find our comfortable seat, shoulders over the hips. Relax the elbows, flip the palms facing up. Just invite a little bit more energy today. Nice. And then you're going to take your left hand down to the side. We're going to use our right shoulder, and you're just going to start to roll the shoulder around. You can either think about drawing circles with the elbow, or you can think about taking your shoulder and just rolling, like imagining the socket, and you're just kind of rolling it around to keep your neck soft. And you're going to keep rolling it around. It's really about bringing circulation to the shoulder socket, and then you're going to move towards a side bend, but I want you to really warm up that shoulder. Take it in the opposite direction a few times. It's kind of a workout, a little bit. I don't know about you, but my shoulders need a little bit more strengthening. And then you're going to slowly start to walk your hand over the top of your head. And imagine that your fingertips are just delicately walking towards the side. So you're engaging from here through your arm. It's not about just moving the fingers to the side. It's really about lengthening from over here. And then you can use this hand. You can either slide forward and away from me more if you'd like, or just stay here and then shake your head no. Shake your head yes a little bit. And then feel this in your side rib cage. And then we're going to inhale, rise up, use that arm to bring you all the way up, and then relax that arm. It's kind of a lot of work. And then we'll try it the other way. So place the fingertips down. Inhale, take the arm. Roll the shoulders. And then remember, same thing on the other side. There's some talking going on in my house, and I'm going to take care of it. Sorry about that. Vacuuming going on. There's conference calls. It's a little busy today, so I apologize for scooting out on you. So keep that finger sort of imagining you're taking it to the other side, and then shake your head no, shake your head yes. You might have already taken your side bend, and that's fine. So just relax your arms, but think of the movement coming all the way from the side rib cage up, and you've already been lubricating this arm to help. And then inhale, bring the arms up. Good. And then you can take the legs and widen them up, switch the other way. Again, experiment with, it's definitely more awkward on one side than the other. For me, it might not be for you. So, but if it is, just know that that's part of the body structure. And again, use support if you need to, and notice how different it feels or not. Maybe you've been doing it this way all along. All right, and then roll the shoulders back and forth. So notice your shoulders. Hopefully they feel a little more at ease. And then we're going to inhale, rise the arms up, and then just softly float the arms down to the sides. Feel a little bit more engagement here, like from the armpit out as you come up and down. Even if you're keeping in a soft flow, as you come down, straighten the arms a little bit so you can feel a little stretch there. Or you can be much more engaged and imagine that you have that resistance going up and down. So it's up to you. Try to keep the shoulders down. Just feel that nice inhalation and exhalation. Last time, bring the arms up, and then maybe bend the elbows so that you can bring the hands into the front. And then we're gonna float the arms down in front of us and away. And you're just gonna tap using your fingers or your palm and just tap to your either shoulder, or if you can get your hand behind the back of your shoulder, you'll notice it's just a different sensation. And then switch to the other side. So I think we only did 2 there, so we're gonna do 4. You can go slower and really be more mindful. You can just tap, engaging, maybe into the core a little bit. All right, so we're gonna go back over here and do a few extras. Now you're on the right arm again. And think about extending with the palm. And then we'll just do 2 more. On the left. 2 more on the right. And then just draw the elbows down. Oh, you can open up the legs, give yourself a little straddle, and then a point and a flex. And bend into the knees here and forward fold, like you're leading with the chest. Or you can keep the legs long and do it by sliding the arms down the front of the legs, bring them back up. And think about leading with the chest. Try not to push your back backwards, right? So think about extending and you're lengthening that space in your lower back. You're not rounding and then pushing the back towards the back behind you. Wherever you are, whether you are knees bent or whether you have the legs straightened. And then slowly bring the soles of the feet together. Take your Baddha Konasana. Feet can be further away. Hold underneath the thighs or the shins. Relax the shoulders. And then explore the pose for yourself. Maybe sliding the feet in. Feel a little bit more here in the inner thighs, maybe not. And then using that inhalation, exhalation, back and forth. Sometimes people like to stay and just breathe, and that's fine too. So if you want to stay and breathe for, let's say, 6 now, or if you want to inhale and exhale as you come forward a little bit, and just exploring where it is that you need the stretch. Whenever you're ready, you can take the feet long, flex through the feet and the heels, big, and maybe point, or not point, but just round into the toes. See if you could spread the toes. It took a long time for me to be able to tell my toes what to do. They were rebels for a long time. Good. And then come on over onto your hands and knees. And then we'll make our way up to standing. So let me take a bit of time. If you want to use a blanket underneath your knees, it's always a good idea if you're on a hard surface. And then when you're there, bump the hips a little side to side. Let your head just hang. Maybe shaking it no, shaking it yes. Slide the hands forward so they're a little bit more at an angle. Widen the knees just a tiny bit. It might even be just like a ½ inch. And then circle the hips. So you can take smaller circles with the hips. Imagine that you're circling like you're stirring a pot, or you can widen the circle by taking the hips back towards the heels, out to the side, and even drop the hips. You're inhaling as you're coming forward, and you're exhaling as you're moving into a contraction, either the side, the back. You'll notice, but this is a great pose getting into so many different little crevices within the body. Just make sure your arms are at an angle so that you're not bringing any pressure onto your wrists. And then switch and circle in the other direction. So you started by going to the right, just start going to the left. Good. And then coming into your neutral table, just briefly. So knees, making sure that everything is comfy, and then just take a couple little pelvic tilts. If you want to move all the way into cow and cat, that's fine too. Just some little pelvic tilts, arching the back, rounding the lower back slightly. And then we're going to Take that left leg behind you, a little bend in the knee, and just move a little back and forth. Try to lift out of the joints. Try not to press too much into the wrist. Keep the shoulders lifted and lengthen them towards the front. Same with the crown of the head as you're rolling back and forth. Lift the leg up, bend the knee, and then push, almost like you're pushing your foot into a wall. You have a wall, go for it. Inhale and exhale, lengthen. So inhale and bring it towards you, and then exhale, lengthen. Think about lifting the belly up and in. One more time, and then switch. You want to bump the hips side to side, feel free to do that. And we'll try it on the other side. So take that right leg back, a little soft bend in the knee, and you can be, more energetic by a little bit more press and lift of the thigh. If you want more into the Achilles, or maybe it just feels really nice to keep it a little softer. Whenever you're ready, straighten the leg, lift the belly, and then bring the knee, just bending, take the leg out and then bend it in and out. Check and make sure that you're not opening up into that right hip, that you're keeping your hips. You can take a quick peek to make sure that your hip bones are facing down instead of up. And last time, slide through a child's pose with the arms in the front, just to get the nice back stretch, relax the palms, and then we will make our way up to standing. So take a moment there, coming all the way into your child's pose if you like, or puppy pose for 5 breaths, somewhere where you can feel like you can connect again with the breath. I'll meet you in standing, but take your time, finish those breaths, and reconnect. Sure that you can see me. See participants. All right. Once you get there, just find your loose Tadasana pose, like a casual Tadasana pose. Sorry, there's the wrong thing. And then just kind of loosen up your hands, shake out your feet. Make sure. Good, and then sway a little side to side. Okay. And then start shifting the weight so that as you're sliding side to side, you might want to hang in the air, and you can even play around with closing your eyes. Your arms can be to the sides, or you can bring them onto the hips. You can even take them into Anjali Mudra. Just kind of play around. You can bend into the knee and shift back and forth. Making sure that you're breathing. Doesn't matter how long you hold it or how high the leg goes. And then coming back to center, just bump the hips a little to the right and to the left. Take some hip swirls here. Circle around, it's a little different sensation. You can go back, forward, side, or you can circle all the way around more fluidly. Kind of experiment with that and then switch the direction. And once you come back to the center, after you feel circled enough, then you're going to take the arms up. Imagine that you're holding onto like a big one of those big, huge beach balls. So that's about how my arms are. And then just do that same swaying back and forth thing. If maybe you can just lift the heel, or you can lift the foot. And you can then also, lastly, the big experiment with the eyes closed. But be careful. If you have any close furniture around, maybe don't close the eyes. Relax the shoulders. Think of the energy coming from the foot all the way through the entire body, up through the fingers, so it's all working. Good. Nice. And then come back to the center. And then reach like you're kind of holding, you're going to try to reach for a cloud and bring it down, side to side. So it's not side bending, it's kind of sideways once it goes up and then a little to the side. Wherever that feels good for you. You can keep a big bend in the elbows, or you can lengthen more, lifting the heel up off the ground. Good. And then take your arms out wide. Take that left arm underneath. And again, hugging here, but keeping a softness enough so that you can breathe. And then bend the knees and then just twist a little over towards the right. Come back through the center. And a tiny bit to the left. You might not go as far because you have your left arm underneath. So just be mindful of that. Inhale back over to the right. And then to the left. Inhale, rise, open up the arms. Take the right underneath the left. Same thing here. Keep a little bend into the knees. Little twist to the right. Maybe you may be more accessible to twist to the left because we have the right arm underneath here. Careful of your back, don't over effort, just kind of feel it back and forth a few times. But inhale, rise the arms up. Exhale, open up the feet a little bit wider. So we're going to come into goddess pose. It's almost like a little squat, but you get to decide how far down you want to go. You can stay up nice and high, just keep a little bit bend, or you can keep going, just thinking about your sitting bones, pulling down towards your heels if you go lower, and keep that chest nice and lifted. Slide the hands down and up the thigh. And then you can open up the arms into cactus if you'd like to. Pretty energetic, so make sure you're not going forward. Pull the knees away from one another. See if you can see your big toe. Lift the chest, and again, think of your sitting bones pulling down towards your heels. Not necessarily tucking the tailbone, just pulling the sitting bones down. Good. And then inhale and rise. Exhale, take it one more time. Maybe you go not as low, maybe you go lower, up to you. And then inhale, rise, and then you can let the arms come down. Bring your hands just above the knee. You can hang out here. There's lots of different options here. So you can hang out here and just get that inner groin stretch, inner thigh stretch. You can slide back and forth. I have a lot of pressure on my knee. I'm kind of relaxing my shoulders, and so my feet and my legs are really strong. I'm using the strength of my legs to hold my hands here. And then next you can take that right shoulder in towards the midline, switch the other way. You can bend the knee, bend the elbow, or you can keep the arms straight. Just keep your chest forward a little bit instead of turning this way, right? Just want to lean in a little bit and then make the activation from the shoulder. And you will still feel it in the inner thigh too if you kind of use your thumb to roll that inner thigh away. Pretty active as well. Whenever you're ready, come back up, walk the feet like your toe and heeling the feet back together. Take a nice deep breath and then come into a Tadasana. You can make it a casual Tadasana, or you're feeling connected, or you can be more energetic and feel more using the strength more than the sukha, the sweetness and softness. Either way. Closing your eyes and then reconnecting with your breath. If you want to bring one hand to the belly and one hand to the heart, that's an option. Reconnecting with your breath, maybe even noticing any sights or sounds, or closing your eyes. And then we'll take one more pose where we're going to, when we're balancing pose. So take tree pose for a moment. So shifting the weight into your left foot and your left leg, and then drawing the energy up through that leg. And then you would lift the toes of the right foot and just draw the knee out and around. Try to keep yourself back in the midline, not bumping that left hip out. It's a little awkward to see from this side, but most of you have done this before. You can take your hands to your hips or Anjali Mudra. Other option is to play with your arms up over the top of the head, imagining that they are branches. If it's accessible, you can place the inner sole of the foot into connecting with the calf. Just try not to land on the ankle or onto the knee joint. And then feel free to play around here. Thinking about a string on the top of your head, lifting you up as you press with your foot so that you're using all of your power, all of you. You're rooted like a tree. Then maybe take a moment to think about the species of tree that you are. Are you a blooming tree? What color are you? And then slowly step down. Just take your feet, shake it all out a little bit, and then we'll go to the other side. If you might even check your mat and see if you can see your footprint. Sometimes you can see that you are very rooted. Come back into your Tadasana, take your time to set yourself up, shifting the weight into the right leg this time. And before moving the left foot, really think about pressing down, rooting down with that foot, but using the whole leg, energy of the leg, and then pulling. So the leg is going down and you're pulling up maybe with the thigh. Think about lifting, lifting, lifting. And then you can turn the knee, roll out to the side, find your species of tree. It will be different on this side. Maybe if it blooms. What color is it? What shape are the petals? We're going to change it up if that works for you, but make sure you really pull in towards that midline. Find somewhere where you have some ease. And slowly bend that knee, bring it back to the center, and then step a little in place. Roll your shoulders back, and then we'll find our way back onto your mat. And you can come onto your back. And once you're on your back, so I am seeing that. Back to participants. So I'm seeing that you guys are all have a yoga practice. So whatever it is, I always like to offer like a couple, even if it's a minute, to do whatever when you land on your back and your feet are on the floor. What is it that is calling your name? Maybe it's just being right there. Maybe it's taking constructive rest and drawing the knees. So, but if it's something else, then do it. Practice being intuitive and listening. Could be drawing the knees towards the chest or floating the feet up. You know, those are just a few things in case you're like, I'm not really sure what she's talking about. And then we'll eventually meet. Take 5 more breaths wherever you are, doing whatever you're doing. And drawing the knee towards the chest very softly, maybe holding underneath the thigh, or squeezing in front of the shin, feeling the lower back and every parts of your back lengthen. And then flip the feet up towards the ceiling, hands behind the thighs. Make sure your knees are far enough away so that you can really rock on the back, the fleshy part, when you're going side to side, as opposed to rounding into the spine and rolling this way. And whenever you are ready, we'll make our way. Actually, we have 9 more minutes. Good. Okay, so happy baby. Hang out, maybe roll all the way over to one side. Come back to the center. Let the knees touch and let your forehead roll towards the mat. Use your inhalation to bring the right leg up. Roll all the way over nice and slow. Use the momentum. Or you can switch now and take your hands to the kneecaps. One more time each side. And then come back through the center, place your feet on the ground. And then if you have a block handy, use the block and slide it underneath of your hips. If you don't have a block, you can slide a pillow or a blanket. Or you can use your hands, taking your hands and then use this fleshy part right here on the top of the thumb. Palms are facing down, and just put it, kind of find that place where you could rest your, right on either side of your sacrum, really. And then you can just let the feet float up. Or use the block, slide it underneath. Find that sweet spot where you're not arching or tilting. Your hips are supported, your feet are a little bit wider. Well, they're actually towards the outer edges would be nice of the mat, maybe further ahead of you. Arms are to the sides. Letting the hips just fall open. And then reconnect with your breath again. Oh, I love to see the legs floating in the air. Nice. And then make our way to your into your Shavasana. Take your time. Take a time to do what you need to do. Eventually just setting yourself up. Using eye pillow or a sweatshirt or a jacket, whatever it is, over your eyes. Keep that handy so you can use it. Pillow under the knees is nice. Maybe a little support behind your head. Or again, if you have a towel or a blanket and you're on a hard surface and your mat isn't super cushy, then maybe you put the blanket behind you so that you have a little bit more softening behind back. Make sure you get your whole buttocks on it so that you're comfortable. And then you can always use the towel or the blanket maybe and roll it underneath of your head. So take your time finding a really nice, comfortable place to be. Maybe rocking the head a little side to side. Take a breath in through the nose, let it out through the mouth. Just again, land right here where you are. And pausing to integrate all of the movements that you've done, all that breath work, all the movements. Let the body absorb all of that energy. And integrate in really very, very subtle ways all throughout your body and mind. Softening through the face, allowing the jaw to relax. Imagining that you are allowing presence by allowing the breath to freely move throughout your body, taking over all control. Back of the head is heavy, making its own little print into the mat, into the ground. Back of the neck is soft. Shoulders, each time you exhale, they just roll away, broadening naturally with the breath. Feeling the mid back and the lower back. You can visualize the breath zigzagging down the spine, bringing new energy to all of those cells and that circulation. Back of the hips, all the way down through the thighs. Calf creates its own print, gently. Heels soften. Bottom of the feet, just allowing the legs and the feet just to roll away from each other. Moving up through the shins, the skin just drapes off the bone. Thighs are rolling away. Maybe the hips are letting go very subtly. belly rises and falls naturally with each breath. Along with the ribs, ever so softly, they rise and fall. No effort from us. Breath moves into the chest, expanding through the collarbones, softening underneath the arms. Shoulders again are falling away with each exhalation. Coming back to the face. Jaw is soft, maybe even the lips make this natural little lift. Imagining a smile. Just letting go, helping you grow bigger from the inside out. Slowly wiggling toes or fingers. Reaching the arms maybe over the top of the head to give yourself a little stretch, or just sway side to side, whatever feels natural to you. Taking your time, eventually bringing your knees in towards the chest, just rolling over onto your right side in that fetal position. Either with the hands on the heart or just leaving them wherever comfortable, taking a moment to reflect on something that you're grateful for. Remembering to open and receive. Today, when someone offers you something, an inviting smile, a warm cup of tea, chance to go ahead in line, receive it completely without reservation. And slowly making your way back to a comfortable seat. Take your time, let your transitions be easy and reverent. And once you're there, we'll all rise the arms up over the top of the head. Give yourself a little stretch on the side body. Nice deep inhale. Bring the palms down to rest. Great, thumbs to the sternum. Give yourself an inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Thank you all so much for coming and showing up on your mats today. And we'll take one Om to seal and celebrate. If you'd like to join in or just listen, we'll take an inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, and inhale to Om. Om. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Great to see you all. I'm going to unmute you real quick.